This week on Movie Time Machine, a gay cabaret owner and his drag queen companion agree to put up a false straight front so that their son can introduce them to his fiance's right-wing moralistic parents. This is The Birdcage.
Welcome to Movie Time Machine, your retro movie review podcast where we take movies from the past and relive them in the present. This week's movie, The Birdcage, directed by Mike Nichols. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, I think it's
Yes.
it's not like pennies.
Okay.
Womp.
Well, I'm your Time Machine host, Chad, and I want to introduce you to my Time Machine co-host. First, he's our living encyclopedia of movie knowledge and NES cart collector, James. James, is there an NES cart of The Birdcage?
There unfortunately isn't. I think that game would be kind of like Roger Rabbit, where you'd be going in and out of rooms and asking a lot of questions.
He's our tech guru, YouTube channel surfer, viral video watching guru. It's Casey.
Yo, don't forget to smash that like
Smash
button
that
and
like.
subscribe. Let's go.
And he's our sports reporter, Mr. Fish Rep Factory himself, host of the Midwest Mountain Sports Report podcast that he does not promote. It's Jamie.
Listen to the Midwest Mountain Sports Report. Nailed it.
Good ad. Hashtag ad.
All right. Before we get into our topic of the week, I want to do something a little different. Change it up. You guys want to hear some news?
Sure do.
Time for news! All right, so Disney Plus Day was weeks ago, and they announced a bunch of Marvel Studios stuff, like mainly series that are going to be on Disney Plus. Did you guys catch any of these?
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this, and
Yeah.
I don't appreciate it.
Why?
No, I'm
What?
excited.
What?
I'm not sure if I should even talk yet and let you and Jamie just go.
What do you mean? I don't.
No, keep going. Just you got it.
Going?
I think he thinks you're about to disparage his favorite character.
Who, Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the stuff that was announced, not the stuff that just dropped.
Oh,
Are you thinking
Oh,
I'm
the
gonna talk
other
about
new
Hawkeye?
stuff.
Yeah.
Got it. So this
Yeah,
isn't
now-
about the worst Avenger. You want to talk about X-Men 97.
Oh.
Yeah, like X-Men 97 announced that What If is going to get a season 2. Did you
I
guys
saw
Did
that.
you guys finish What If season 1?
I got like 2 episodes left.
Oh,
I'm still halfway through it. No, I didn't see that, but I kind of know about the twist and stuff. I'm excited. I just need to catch up.
Okay. So I'm just going to go through these quick, and I just want to see if these do anything for you, if they move the needle, or if you're just like, huh? Or, yeah, cool. I'm guessing this one, is this maybe why they did a zombies, what do you call it, episode
What
of
if? Yeah.
What If, yeah. There's going to be a Marvel Zombies animated original series for Marvel Studios. That's it. Yeah.
I'm like just really not a fan of the zombie genre at all. There's not really anything that moves the needle for me, so that's probably something that I'll just pass on.
Yeah, doesn't. I'm kind of zombied out too.
Well, and I was never huge in, and it's not that they're bad. I just never got into like the classic zombie movies, like the Romeros and things like that, or anything older.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm not into horror, so I guess that's probably part of it too.
Horror.
Horror.
All right. Another one's too. Secret Invasion. I don't know what this is about. So this says original series coming soon. One is Ironheart. This is supposed to be like the female lead kind of Iron Man type character that has like one of the Stark suits. Yeah, female lead.
Sweet.
So,
Is it an original or is this from the
Yes.
comics? Okay.
what do you mean original or from the comics?
So I guess I just mean, is this brand new for this series, or is this a previous IP?
Oh, I think most of these are previous IP.
I think it's all comic, like
Yeah.
actually in comic lore.
Okay.
Like they own the rights. They're going to
to
just recycle what they've already got and
Yeah.
redo it to make
You
it a little
probably
modern.
never
I
heard
guess,
of
but-
her because you're a him.
Oh, how dare you!
If you everyone's seen what do you call it, Vision, WandaVision.
Yeah.
WandaVision,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
So there's a Agatha series coming.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I liked
House
her
of
as
Hartnell?
Agatha.
I like that
that
actress in
was
general. I'm glad she's getting a bit.
Yeah, true.
yeah. She's hilarious. I love her.
She killed it. Yep.
I Am Groot is getting an animated series.
Mm.
Or Groot is. It's called I Am Groot.
Wait,
Whatever.
now, are we
What?
sure it's animated, or is it just going to be like, Groot CG and we're going to have real people?
No, it says animated series.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yep.
I feel like I've seen, maybe that's all it was, is I saw the poster with Baby Groot on there, and so I just assumed.
I Am Groot. Okay, What If Season 2 is coming, so it's cool.
Man,
Then
that's awesome that Vin Diesel's going to get a solid paycheck. I feel like he hasn't done anything since, oh wait, he has all franchises.
what's Vin Diesel in?
Poor
Fast
guy's
and the
struggling.
Furious?
Well, I know, but how is he related to What If?
Oh, I was saying because he is Groot.
He's
Oh,
Groot
really?
in the movies. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Are you kidding? You can tell from the tone of his voice? Man, we got to talk about accents again, because it's clearly Vin Diesel's accent.
What? No way.
Yeah. Next thing you're going to go is you didn't realize that Stallone was the shark in Suicide Squad.
No, I did know that. All right, and
Book.
I love that movie, by the way. Then there's a series Echo. This is somehow tied into Hawkeye, I think.
Oh, I bet. So what I was going to say is from what I can see in Hawkeye and these new series, and I've heard rumors of did they announce a She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it just feels like they're taking the OG Avengers squad and doing all these series to pass the torch so that they can start a new, Thanos type epic arc of movies in the Avengers line once again with a whole new fresh face squad. That's my theory.
You don't think all of these are Snap related?
No, because Hawkeye is gonna he trains in that one chick who is in the second Pitch Perfect movie and whatnot. I don't remember her name. He's training her in because she's she's gonna be the new Hawkeye, and I bet she's gonna be Echo, right? So she's gonna get a series or whatever. And then She-Hulk's gonna take over for Hulk. I mean, Tony's dead, so I guess bringing in this new Iron Man suit allows them to kind of revive Stark in that capacity. And then Falcon is the new Captain America, so we already have a new Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we missing? They're going to replace Black Widow with what's her face, Yelena from
Widow?
the movie. Yep, whatever her name is. That her name, Little Widow?
No, I don't know.
No, I don't remember her name. I think she had a code name. I don't know. Her sister, or whatever, who was great. So that I don't know. So far, the things that they've introduced, I don't hate those characters. It's going to be weird and to kind of shift, but I guess I'm excited to see lesser known characters or kind of dig into the archives of the comics and find other gems that people aren't maybe used to or aren't mainstream yet.
Casey, when you said that out loud, all I was thinking of is that scene that you hate so much in the first Avengers, like when they do the circle around shot and Black Widow's putting in her glove.
Yeah, right. But
now it's going to be with this
load for this alien invasion.
I'm just thinking about this new cast doing the exact same thing, and everybody in the theater is just going to lose their minds.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, people applauded that shit. They loved it.
If theaters still exist in 10 years,
they will.
I know. I'm just kidding.
In my basement.
Jamie, I cut you off. What did you have?
I was just thinking that I like Casey's idea that this is, take two of the Avengers, and I was trying to think of whether or not I'd be excited about that. And I like that it's different because having just seen the Pattinson Batman trailer in the theaters, they just keep doing that with Batman, and I don't know what to do with it anymore. It's like, here's more mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes, but this isn't that much different from the mashed potatoes I had
hold
before.
on, yeah.
So
hold on, let me jump in because I have a great. You're exactly right, and this is why Marvel is killing it, because look at the trailer and what's going to happen in the new Spider-Man movie. They're going to suck in all the other stupid stray Spider-Man shit, and then kind of put a bow on it, and it's like, nah, this is us, damn it. And so they're going to kind of swallow all that Spider-Man shit together and basically tie a knot on Peter Parker Spider-Man, and then mark my words, they're going to switch over to Miles Morales, and it's going to be a whole new generation, and they're going to stop doing Red Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man.
That'd be fucking rad.
I think I read an interview with what's his face, or in a headline, I don't know, some side thing. Where in an interview, who's the kid who plays Peter Parker now?
Tom Holland.
The new
Yeah.
Tom Holland, the best, in my opinion, best Spider-Man so far.
Agree.
He said something about like saying he wasn't the future of Spider-Man, that Miles is probably going to be, or maybe not even probably, but he said that. So I think either he knows, or like they're going to run him until he's sick of doing it, and then they'll pivot to Miles, which I think is sweet because I think Miles rules.
Well, and Tom Holland's been known to accidentally tell the ending of stories.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
All right, and finally for Marvel Studios announcements, have you guys seen the Moon Knight trailer?
no.
This
Nope.
looks. This is like, out of all these, this is the one that I'm excited about the most. It has Oscar Isaac is the lead as
Done.
Moon Knight. Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm not familiar with the Moon Knight character either, but obviously the title Moon Knight has to do with like at night. I feel like he somehow is like controlled by something, whatever, to become like this character. Yeah, like vigilante. Yeah, check out the trailer sometime. It looks really cool. Kind of has Batman vibes to it. I feel like a little bit. It's very dark, obviously. Again, at night. But
Oh dang! I
very
didn't
curious.
I didn't know who Oscar Isaac was at first when you said, and I had to look it up. Poe from Star Wars.
Correct.
Yeah,
That would be great. I think he's awesome. I would love to see him as a lead in a hero movie. I think he'd kill it. That's great.
yeah. So that's
Looking at IMDb, he's playing Solid Snake in a Metal Gear Solid movie at some point.
Shut the front door.
yeah.
Right?
Come on.
That's nuts. That's nuts. That's nuts. That would
That's
be
not
sweet.
Snake Plissken. They're remaking
Wrong.
that though too.
Really?
I read that the other day that they're remaking. I don't think they've cast it yet, but it's like in the works, like or in production of some sort.
Pre-production.
Yeah,
Oh,
development.
Escape from New York?
Yeah.
Oh, I want no part of that. No, thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if you can beat the original when they did
I just
Escape
hate
from LA.
remakes.
Yeah. Unless somehow it was like a reboot sequel, where you can somehow tie them together, but it probably won't be good.
Well, that's a good point. How long does it have to be before a remake? Because I thought maybe the Ocean's movies were appropriately remade. What's that, 2 decades
I mean,
between the old Rat Pack versions?
I
At
mean, yeah, I
least,
think it
right?
was like late 60s, early 70s of the original.
3 decades, maybe. All right, so maybe that's the line.
Yeah.
Let's call it 3 decades.
Call it.
The Movie Time Machine pod. How old does a movie have to be before you can remake it? Line. We'll find a better name for that.
God, so how many Spider-Mans came out one after another? Same thing with Batman.
Exactly.
Like, we're not waiting
Shit.
long enough. I mean,
No, you're right. They're breaking the line.
I mean, but would I kill for another Commando movie or a Demolition Man? Whew. But you know what? You can't mess with perfection, I guess.
Hold
Right.
the line. Hold.
All right. That's it. Oh, Jamie, did you see the Obi-Wan trailer?
I was just waiting. That's what I thought you were going with this.
Oh, yeah.
You're going Star Wars, Bando.
With Star Wars? Mando?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't, but I did put together an Obi-Wan Kenobi puzzle over Thanksgiving. So there's that.
Okay. Very cool. All right.
Not really.
Obi-Wan-
We're missing a ton of the pieces.
Obi-Wan. like a hand?
Yeah, some face pieces, a lightsaber, but
Yeah.
about the series.
Do you feel like, Jamie, I just feel like if you're at work telling that story, like you just have the guy in the next cubicle just judging the shit out of you. Like,
Yes.
hey, how was your holiday, man? And be like, oh, it was pretty good. I made a Obi-Wan Kenobi puzzle. Oh, that sounds cool. Well, not really. I didn't have all the pieces. He's like, yeah, I didn't care.
Right. Didn't help the story.
I thought it was great.
Thank you.
I don't know. Like, I wanted to spoil Mando, but I don't know. I just want to maybe get into the movie conversation now. So maybe that will be next week or
Oh,
whenever
good.
we record next. Because I know
Good,
you
good,
won't
good.
watch it.
It's just a spoilers version of
Just-
Movie Time Machine.
Whatever you do not mention the crate dragon in the deserts of Tatooine and how they, go after it with Timmy Oliphant. Don't mention that
Don't mention.
when you spoil Mando season 2.
Okay.
Or don't
No.
mention the cave ice spiders when we spoil season 2 and the frog alien thing. Don't mention that.
Are you saying that you've watched it, or
Yeah, no, I was gonna surprise you and dump like the whole, but I've only watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh god, I was really
Oh,
hoping you were going to
wow.
give us like 6 more of those where I'm like, "Oh, he watched all episodes. That's amazing."
That's that would have been like checkmate,
I know,
Jamie.
I know, I
Wow,
ruined it.
you
This would no
did.
longer be a Birdcage podcast. We'd be all just gushing about Mando.
Right. All right. Speaking of Birdcage, let's get into our movie of the week. Birdcage, released on March 8th, 1986, at a budget of $31 million, raked in $185.3 million. Ratings and reviews on IMDb has a 7.1 out of 10. Metacritic has a 72% score. Rotten Tomatoes, critic score of 81% and 81% audience score. So, this movie starring Robin Williams and who's the other guy?
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane. All right,
Snake Plissken, I mean.
yeah.
No,
This
just
is my first time. Snake
Is this
Plissken.
all of our who's seen this?
This is my first time seeing this.
I've seen this many
Same.
times.
First time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I knew nothing about this movie going into it.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
other
I
than
love
who
when
was
we
in it.
watch movies I haven't seen. Those are like when we did like American Psycho. That was fun. Like when we all talked about something and I'd never seen before. I can't believe
Mhm.
you three have never seen this movie because I've seen it so many dang times.
What'd you think, Casey?
Oh man, I got a lot of opinions. You sure you want me to go first? I took notes.
I
I don't want to drain.
Hey,
I can go first because mine's gonna be
Yeah.
really brief and quick. I love this movie. This is a movie that I don't know. You can't really say this anymore. Of hey, if it was on TV when you're flipping through channels, that's where I stop. I don't continue. I just have to watch it when it's on. So this I saw it was on HBO, so it's been in my queue for a while. So I'm happy we picked it because I've been waiting to watch it again. But I'm like, no, James, there's plenty of new content. You don't have to watch something you can once again quote verbatim. But no, this movie, I think it has like all the characters are so much fun. It's so over the top. I thought as I'm watching this, I was thinking, God, has this been readapted to be a stage play at any point? And I believe it was a French play to begin with now, but I would gladly go see that at the theater if it came to town. Yeah, so I give it 5 stars out of 5, or however we do this here.
yeah, 4 stars out of 5. That works.
Woo!
All right, Jamie. I think Jamie, why don't you go then Casey afterwards? I think Casey
Sure.
has the.
I don't have that much. I was just playing. I just
Okay,
have a few
okay.
things. Don't
All
worry.
right, well, let her rip. Well,
No,
actually,
let
wait.
Jamie
Maybe
can go.
Jamie has to go first because
Yeah,
he'll steal your ideas.
I will.
Classic Jamie.
So for me, this was I feel like my dad and my family, movie fans, were pretty good about showing me important classics, your Star Wars, your Blade Runners, etc. But this is one where I would really have a word with them. Like, how did you guys not ever screen the Birdcage for me? Like I thought this was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Like Robin Williams is so good and he plays it so close to the vest and so cool. And I think it's all the better for it. He just kind of lets Nathan Lane go, and Nathan Lane is running the show. I I love it. I was like belly laughing so many times. There's a couple things that are problematic, but that'll happen with 90s comedies. But I think by and large, like my biggest question was like, okay, are we laughing with the gay people or at them? And I think that by and large we're laughing with them, and I kind of I did that check in just with the times we're in now and being an older 90s movie. But I think it's so funny. They treat all the characters, well, not all of them, but most of them, with respect. And like for the 90s, I think this was still pretty groundbreaking to have a movie focus on gay characters like this front and center and to not be laughing at them. Like there's a huge line of that in Hollywood. Lots of documentation. I'm rambling on that, but no, so funny. And I have a lot more to say about Val later, but we can get back to that. I want to hear everyone else's thought.
Yeah, talking about like problematic movies. There was one thing I did read, that how the Birdcage showed that queer identities could exist independently of the or reference to like the AIDS epidemic, being able to
Yes.
have like gay characters in film and without having to be referenced to that. But yeah, Casey, I'm curious to see what you have to say.
Yeah, well, yeah, I kind of want to touch on that real quick, just because it's an interesting segue. I think, I think you're right. I don't think anyone was laughing at anyone. I think it was we were looking at just a specific, I don't think they framed it as, all gay people are cross dressers that go to clubs, right? They framed it as this is a specific subset of this culture, and they celebrate it. I don't think they do it ever, ironically or in a goofy way. I thought it was awesome. I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I'm really glad that we picked it. The thing that I want to touch on is the way that they tell the story, especially the opening. I don't know, first 15, 20 minutes. Just kind of the way, and remember, I knew nothing about this movie going into it. I didn't know it was a play, and that makes a lot more sense after you watch it. You get a lot of the scenes are set up, um, framed in one scene at a time, right? It'll have a scene with a bunch of dialogue and action in one room at a time. And when you step back after you watch it, it's pretty obvious that it would have made a great. And it obviously was a great play, but it's very much set up in scenes of dialogue and interaction within there. There's no action. There's no panning from sequence to sequence. Even the traveling is just inside a car. It's a single, sitting in a car having a conversation, small scene done on a stage. But I thought, anyways, the reason I really loved the opening storytelling is the way they kind of allude to what was Robin Williams' character? Not Albert. He was
Armand.
Armand. So the way they kind of make it look like Armand is, cheating or having an affair, right? They kind of play into that. He goes and changes, and shoot, what's man? Why do I never have names in front of me? The butler dude. What's his name?
Agador Spartacus.
Agador, thank you. And like Agador is kind of calling him out on, sneaking around or getting white wine and all this. So they just super play into this. And then even when Val shows up, you kind of think that it's, some sort of interest like that. And then they just drop it on you that it's his son. And then just the way that they don't kind of spoon feed you any of the backstory or anything like that. They don't have arbitrary scenes of dialogue just to explain things. The exposition isn't just kind of handed to you like that. I love that it takes you all the way until you actually meet Val's biological mom to actually really understand kind of the story and situation of how their family came to be. So I think just slowly kind of peeling away and introducing these characters in the story that in that way, I thought was a super super enjoyable way to kind of learn and hear the story, and a lot more, I don't know, refreshing, because you see a lot of comedy movies where they do just throw in one scene of barfing out exposition to tell you the whole backstory of a character, and this was just a lot better done, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think it's an amazing movie. I think Armand and Albert are fantastic characters. I love seeing Robin Williams in a role like this. This is almost like the flamboyant Goodwill Hunting, right? He played almost the straight guy, and he's normally the wacky dude. And so I love seeing him in a I would call this almost a serious role, right? He plays it, like you said, close to the vest. So I love seeing him in a role like this. I thought it was amazing. Albert was awesome. At first it kind of felt I don't want to say annoying, but I wasn't sure I was going to enjoy it. But he like grew on me so much, and then by the time you hit that dinner scene where he walks in as the mom, it's just from there on, it's just a roller coaster. We're slowly climbing up and up, and then you hit the dinner scene, and then it's all straight down, and it's hilarious and fun, and it ends. I don't know. It was a great movie. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I'll stop rambling.
Wow, 4.5. What did you give it, Jamie?
I put a 4 in Letterbox, but the more I think about it, it feels more like a 4.5 or a 5. I loved it so much. I laughed. I can't think of a funnier movie I've watched in the past, I don't know, year or two.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Well, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer.
Ooh,
Well, you
let's
wouldn't
go.
be you wouldn't be Chad without it.
Right? Oh, God. No, I really like the movie. I don't want to repeat everything you guys said because I have the same feelings. I think it's like a 3.5 stars. I think it's really good. But yeah, I don't really have much to say outside of what you guys have said. You know what? Watching it though, I was just kind of feeling sad that, like, I was like, God, I haven't watched like a Robin Williams movie since we did what was it? Insomnia.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
But no, it's
jeez.
like I didn't have this feeling when I watched that one, but I was like, man, I really miss like watching Robin
Mhm.
Williams. I feel like I kind of look back at it. I was like, oh, I grew up with. I remember like one of the first movies I saw like repetitively was Popeye. Not that it was a great
Oh,
movie, but
wow.
because it was on HBO all the time. Kind of back in the early days of HBO, and then kind of seeing Mork and Mindy and syndication and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's I was kind of taken back, like you, Casey. At first, it took me a moment. I started watching it and I stopped because I just wasn't feeling it. Probably just wasn't in the right mood. But then I went back and sat through it, and yeah, it's a real fun movie. Like the first thing that really stuck out to me too was that, oh, this is great. We're seeing. I don't remember seeing like a movie around this time that also showed like complexities like in family that like showing like a gay man or a gay couple, and then he also has this like previous relationship, like you guys were saying with this woman, and they had this child together. So I just kind of like how they kind of pulled that in and how they were just like kind of cool with it, like they, then they joked about it, and like their their night that's like they slept together, and it just being able to see that in film and just like knowing what era it came from um was kind of refreshing, and just kind of made me to kind of look back and see how things are different today and stuff like that. But one thing I do have to say though, like, just stay with me because I don't want this may sound like it's problematic or what I'm going to say is bad, but it's not. Trust me, is that
You're gonna
this
get canceled for
this
this.
yeah, I'm gonna get canceled.
Don't get
This is
canceled.
like for me personally, this
Careful.
is like this shows like classic. This is like classic drag to me. Like the new drag stuff, I can't watch, I can't see. Like the drag makeup like terrifies me. But like the contour lines and stuff like that, I can't. It just scares the piss out of me. Part of it is that, like it reminds me of these masks that my uncle like would use to scare the shit out of me, and just something with like all like the contour lines and like the strong makeup makes me think of that. I can't do it. So when it comes to drag, I'm more classic drag than modern drag.
I thought you were going to say that you just agree wholeheartedly with Gene Hackman's politics.
Yeah, I thought
Ooh.
that's where we were going
My
with this.
God, he loves his candy though.
That was
does love
so
this.
funny.
Why do old people like butterscotch candy?
Well, I used to share my Werther's original. Werther's.
One thing with this is when I was watching, I was trying to think like all these characters are so extreme except for like Val and his fiance Calista Flockhart,
Mhm.
who is married to Harrison Ford still. It's weird. So like besides them, like all the characters are very specific, like over the top, and also just really, really well cast. Right? I was trying to think if they remade this movie, like who would I see in that, or like what would that look like? And I was having a tough time with it. But then I came across some fun trivia that Robin Williams was casted as Albert at first, and I was like, well, who the hell would have been his character? And it was Steve Martin. Steve Martin was supposed to be Robin Williams' character of Armand, and then there was some filming issues, and then they swapped out, and then it brought in Nathan Lane, who was kind of at the time newer to film. He was more of a play actor.
Yeah.
No, I actually
Wow.
I was watching an interview with Nathan Lane, and he said part of the reason too was that Robin Williams had just done Mrs. Doubtfire and didn't want to do drag a second film in a row.
Oh, I didn't read that. That makes sense.
And so that's why they actually flipped him to Albert, and then Nathan Lane was just like a natural, like, of course, Nathan Lane.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, I don't know anyone else that I don't think you could make this again. Because I think he is Albert. Like,
100%.
It's too perfect.
Yeah, I was trying to think if Robin Williams was playing Albert. I mean, it would work in its own Robin Williams way, but I don't know. It wouldn't be the same as what we witnessed. And then because I was thinking, yeah, Steve Martin and Robin Williams would be able to put on a good show as well. I wholeheartedly
Sure.
agree
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be the same movie.
Right.
Yeah, and he gets his moments. Like he has his the part where he's running through dress rehearsal and he does the Madonna, Madonna, Madonna. You know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Trying to teach
Yeah.
the dance.
Yes.
But my favorite scene, it's well, I don't know. There's so many good scenes, but
The
I really
kitchen
love
scene
the kitchen scene. Wait, which one's
when
that?
he
where they're all going
when
in
he
there
falls. Have you seen that? When
with
he goes in and takes a
he's
drink
getting
of
the shrimp
whatever
and they're all
bottle.
pulling Jameson.
Well, yeah, they're all pulling
Yeah.
Jameson, and Hank Azaria is sitting there crying because this all they made was soup. Right? It's when you find out that that's all he made, and then Val comes in, he drinks, and then Robin Williams goes to leave, and he trips and like falls over, and that was an actual slip. Apparently, from what I was watching on YouTube and interviews and stuff, everyone at some point slipped in that stupid kitchen, and that one stayed in because he slipped and stayed in character. And if you watch it again, and he's like yelling to say he's like yelling to keep from breaking, so he like escalates, and it's one of those rare times where he's kind of has an emotional outburst. It's because he actually fell on the floor. It's
Oh, that's
hilarious.
awesome.
And then that's when he walks out and says, "Fuck the shrimp," which I think was an ad lib because he was just all jacked on
Yeah.
actually falling and then trying to not break, and like then walks out, "Fuck the shrimp."
That's what I did read. Is the director made Nathan Lane and him do one take where it was 100% to the script, but because he knew that there was going to be all these other takes where they were just ad libbing and just doing their own thing. And I'd be curious to like kind of like pop up video style, know which one be like, okay, so this scene was per script, and then like the rest of the movie is just off script and just in the moment. I'm sure.
I would too, because kind of like what Chad was saying, it's kind of painful too. Just I really missed Robin Williams watching this movie. It's that other scene when he's dancing with Christine Baranski, and they're both just like in their 90s prime, and she looks incredible in this movie. By the way, that's neither here nor there, but they're just so good together. Their chemistry as actors is just like radiating off of the screen, as good as like him and Albert. And that, I don't know, that moment really made me miss him and want to go back and watch like all the Robin Williams movies.
I agreed. And Jamie, I would say when she played Martha May Whovier, oh man, that Who face just gets me.
Oh.
With the Christmas light
Oh,
shooter.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gross.
Her Mrs. Claus outfit, Mother May I.
You were on the naughty list.
Sorry.
All right, Jamie, I saw you have Mount Rushmore of movie villains list. Do you want to go into this? Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just,
Too good.
Val, I mean, what a jerk, just ashamed of his perfectly fine two dads. He has to arrange this whole situation when, he gets there at the end, but it's like, come on, Val, did you have to put your dads through this? So I think he's the true villain of this movie. Gene Hackman does an admirable job, but we're all in this position really because of Val. So I came up with my Mount Rushmore movie villains. It's Val, Calvin Candy, Nurse Ratched, and Anton Chigurh. And I wanted to make the important distinction. I didn't pick like anti-hero villains that you kind of like by the end of the movie, like the Joker or Hannibal Lecter. Like these four are, they're really good at being evil.
hey,
And Val on top.
Jamie, for the
Yes.
podcast audience, do you want to reference what movies these characters are from?
Oh, sure. Val from Birdcage, Calvin Candy from Django, Django Unchained. Nurse Ratched is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Anton Chigurh is No Country for Old Men.
All right, thank you. I needed a refresher on Calvin Candy. Is that DiCaprio's character?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, until you said it out loud, I was like, I couldn't place it either. So, chat, I appreciate the follow up on that one. And no, Jamie, I'm with you on Val. I don't know if he makes Mount Rushmore. I am intrigued by this idea, and I will try to come up with something of my own for next time.
Oh, good.
Oh, which is, I think it's extremely fun. But I agree. Like as I'm watching, and they're, he's trying. Armand's trying to change Albert to be more manly. So you pierce the toast and like all that stuff.
The John
and,
Wayne
but,
shit.
and but yeah, all the John Wayne stuff. But then while they're doing that, like he's got people in the house like taking out their sculptures and changing the paintings. I'm thinking, what kind of overhaul is this? Not to mention, what kind of parents would say yes to this idea? Like it's crazy to me. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a loving parents thing where they were just cool with it.
I think that just shows how good of parents they were.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's just so nuts to me that all of a sudden they're just changing all the decor of their homes, and messing up the what'd you call it, Jamie? It was the sponge painting, like with
Th-
makeup.
I was dying. That was the funniest line of the film for me. I think just because it caught me so off guard, and he just says it like, "I just had the wall sponge painted this week" or something like that.
No, I agree. I think Val's awful and almost irredeemable. At least Gene Hackman by the end, grows as a person, accepts, he gets he cross dresses to get out of that situation. He accepts, this gay family, and who knows if he actually changed any of his beliefs, but he, at least grew a little bit to, be accepting of those people. And what did Val do? He just, cheated and lied his way and got lucky that his parents were so awesome that even when the lie was revealed, they could, save the situation for him. Val did nothing. He's trash and belongs number one on Mountain Rushmore of movie villains.
Also, Val was like 20 years old too. Like I don't know. It's just there's all these things where I'm just like, every other parent would have just said, "Screw you, son. Sorry, figure your life out."
Yeah, but like how he's acting, I was like, oh, that's so what a 20-year-old would want to do.
That's true.
I get, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
But no, I think what a great set of parents. I think Armand, what an amazing dad. And I love his character too, because he's pretty consistent that through the entire movie, whenever like a conflict arises, he's always really intense. And you almost feel like he's on the edge of either, yelling or being violent. Like he just has this perfect intense stare. And then he always like melts at the end. Every time he gives in, whether it's with Val, whether it's with Albert, like when they're at lunch and he finally caves and says, "Fine, you can be the uncle," or or when he's originally with Val, he's trying to convince him to lie. He always just consistently with that same thing, and I don't know. I think that's a perfect. I don't know. What a great dad. Like that's exactly what he probably should be.
I like that. I was reading that Hank Azaria's character, which, by the way, Hank Azaria is a phenomenal character actor. Like he always is doing something different. I feel like in everything he's in, or just throwing in a different accent. But in this one, like he was trying to toy with what accents to use, and they were talking about that on the same lot they were filming Sling Blade, and him and Billy Bob Thornton were like friends, and so they would like drive around in a car together in character, and like so he'd be like, I want them French fry potatoes, and then he'd be like, "Oh honey, you're so silly," or whatever the fuck, or whatever it would be. Sorry if I swore there. Edit. But I was like, man, what a great buddy cop comedy movie if you had those two in the front seats of cars just going around in their own characters. I'd watch that.
Characters out of
I
place.
agree. I think Hank Azaria is the third best performance in this movie. I think he was fantastic.
No, he's really good. He's in God, Run Fat Boy Run, and
He's in Friends. Remember him from Friends?
What was that baseball
that's a
show
claim
he
to
did
fame.
too, where he's playing the sportscaster? Oh, it was on a really obscure network. I think it like just wrapped.
Bordertown?
Say it again, Casey.
Bordertown?
No,
That's
it was
from 2016.
Oh, rats.
Brockmire?
Brockmire. That's what it is. That's right. Yeah, that it's super inside baseball for lack of a better metaphor, but he just plays like a 1950s baseball announcer. It's like really obscure, very specific comedy, but he crushes it because he's Hank Azaria. I don't know.
I think he did some Broadway too. I think he was in Spam-A-Lot in New York for a while. The Monty Python musical.
Cool. You went to that, right? Was that you went to that?
I don't think I saw him, but I did see that in New York, yes. Well, maybe I saw him. I honestly can't remember.
I was gonna make a comment about how Val says he's 20 in this movie, and like I'm like, did he look a lot older? And I just found Val says he's 20, but in real life the actor was 27, so that's not totally out of the question. Clarissa Flockhart was 19. It says she was 19 in the movie and was 30 in real life.
Whoa.
But I guess James Vanderbeek was probably like 15 years older than he was playing in Dawson's Creek, and killed it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was kind of confused on, as like always in film. But I was confused on the like Val's and his fiancés. Like I was kind of confused on like if what they're like they were trying to do this, to plan this out to actually kind of fuck with her parents. I don't know. I don't know what made me feel that way, but it was just something weird about how they were acting, like when they were calling one another and like each talking to their like sets of parents. And
Well, she was sus with her parents. He was straightforward about
yeah,
everything, but she was
Yeah.
hella sus with her. Like, she would just sit there with a straight face and not say anything.
he's a cultural attaché.
No, what? So what is a cultural attaché?
He should have just said he's a property owner. Didn't he like own the whole thing? So just call him a property owner. That's easier than making up some weird political thing.
Right. That's like a what do you call it? Like a ambassador or representative of nations or something like that. Because they're like he's a cultural attaché from Greece or some shit like that.
It's just like a foreign diplomat thing.
Yeah. A diplomat with varying responsibilities.
Womp womp.
Do you think
Boring.
on set like people called him Robin or Rob? Rob feels weird.
Hey, Rab. Rab.
It's Mr. Williams. Don't you forget it.
Rab
That's probably how he was. He's pretty strict about that. Don't you look at me in the eye, kid.
What's do we want to rattle off maybe like everyone's kind of favorite Robin Williams role or movies? Just a couple come to mind.
I mean, there's anything. You mean everything after Good Will Hunting,
That's fair.
right? So like, what's after number one? Sure, we can talk about everything after number one.
After number one, I need to go back and watch Good Will Hunting. I feel like that's a movie that I'll go back to and maybe won't like as much going back to. I don't know.
Nah, dude, that's one of my. Whenever it's on TV, I stop. I love that. I will watch it over and over. That
Yeah, that's a
movie
bold
speaks
lie,
to me,
Chad.
man.
You think that now, but your attitude will change as soon as you watch it
It
again.
wasn't a lie. It was just a prediction.
I'm
I
just saying
agree,
your
Chad.
prediction is false.
I was there and then I rewatched it, and it is still that good for what that's worth.
Yeah, it's too good. It's amazing.
I think you're like, I was there. I
I
was
was
in Boston.
I was there. I was there when they made it.
Okay, put it on the list. We'll do it. We'll rewatch it, and we'll do a pod.
God, I mean, that's the thing is Robin Williams' characters are so good. Like, even like you just talking about him as a Doubtfire, like going back and watching that movie, like he crushes it, and the movie is just wholesomely fun. And I don't know. And also Hook is one of my favorite movies. I'm not saying he's crushing the
Oh
character.
yeah,
I don't think he
Hook is
crushes
so
Peter
good.
Pan great, but I mean he does fine. But as far as like what he's best in, yeah, nothing compares to Good Will Hunting. But this one is probably a close second. I got to be honest, it's pretty darn good.
Oh, I found mine, Chad. My Dead Poet Society. That's really high up there for me. John
Well,
Keating.
These movies.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
I haven't seen any of these movies that you guys. So I haven't
Oh
seen Dead
no!
Poets, Hook.
Did
I
you
think
know that he was the voice of the genie, Chad?
I did know that, but I haven't
Ooh.
seen that movie.
I haven't seen Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, so I'm not saying this is like his best role in a movie or whatever character, but that movie, I don't know, that I've seen that movie a lot. It was a part of like the original like 8 or 10 VHS tapes that we got in the CBS home video movie collection. So I don't. I really like that movie, but that's one I have not seen in a very long time, probably since the '90s. But yeah, I remember really liking that movie. I actually would be curious to go back and watch that now because
I'd watch it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I'd love to pod that one.
Are we talking about Popeye? Did I miss that?
No.
What are we talking? Chad, what movie were you talking about?
Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh,
Good
my
Morning
bad.
Vietnam.
Okay, sorry, I
Yeah.
got there.
Ooh, shouts to Death to Smoochie. What a great film. Rainbow
thank you.
Randolph and Death to Smoochie.
Okay,
Love
thank
it.
you, Case, because I feel like I'm the only one who does like that, and I almost
Oh, I
didn't
love
say
that
it
movie.
because I felt guilty.
Oh,
That's a great movie.
I haven't seen that one either. Death of Smoochie.
Oh, it's a good dark comedy. It's funny. Think Barney on steroids, on meth. Barney on meth. That's
Yeah,
probably
I was
better.
like much more accurate.
Okay, yeah, the box art movie poster.
Yeah,
I
it's
see it
great.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, another '90s classic, but Jumanji. That movie is
Oh,
not
yeah,
nearly
let's
as
go.
watchable without Jumanji or without Robin Williams. I would
Oh,
say.
for sure.
No, you're right. You're right.
I know
That was a
Kirsten
great
Dunst
film.
crushing it.
Flubber was one of my favorite childhood movies.
Oh,
Shouts
I was
to
gonna
some
say
Disney.
I used to watch The Absent-Minded Professor all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Mork and Mindy
those-
is on like Tubby or whatever.
Those are both remakes of, was it not Don Knotts? Jerry Lewis.
Oh yeah, he did
Yep.
the old flubber, huh?
I was like, what's his name? Telethon guy. Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis Telethon. You guys
Did
have
any
younger parents, so you
Mm-hmm.
guys didn't have the parents that watch telethons when they're on TV.
Nope.
did anyone see What Dreams May Come?
Oh
Yes, I actually like
yes,
that movie.
the
They're
the
like his wife.
wife.
He
Yeah.
dies in a crash. His wife commits suicide. He like goes to save her in hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Spoiler.
trippy.
It's a good
I
movie.
need to revisit that one. That one I remember being pretty scarring because I saw it when I was like 10 or something, like way too young to deal with
Oh my
like
goodness,
heaven
that's
and hell.
that's a heavy one.
That's one
Yeah.
I've never watched, but I'm
It's with,
pretty
like,
positive
death
it
and
is on
suicide.
Netflix. So now I'm interested based on your description. I'm like, okay, now I want to watch that tonight.
I haven't seen it in a while, but it I don't know, gets a little heavy at times, right? Because you're dealing with loss and then suicide. Spoiler, I guess it's about halfway through.
Mm.
Sorry to ruin it.
Cool. Looks like I need to catch up on some Robin Williams films. I do have a couple of these in the list, I think. I know Hook was in there. And Dead Poet.
Yep. Hook and Dead Poet. Sweet. Well, we'll
Yeah.
have to get those soon.
Dead Poet Society. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
I mean, I think I agree with what James said kind of in the beginning. I think this would be added to my list of if I'm flipping through channels and it was on, I would probably stop. That list also includes, Shawshank Redemption or the Blues Brothers. I think this adds to that list. I would probably watch this. I did want to say, Chad, I think I did remember what the first half-ish of the movie did feel a tad slow. So I think you giving it a three and a half isn't the worst thing in the world. And maybe you did just catch it at the wrong time, because I found that I wasn't giving it my 100% attention for the first half, and because it is a play, right? It's a series of scenes, and if you're not really paying attention, the comedy and the action and everything is in the dialogue. Everything's in what they're saying
Yeah.
and the way they're saying it. And so I found that when I wasn't giving it my full attention in the first 20, 30 minutes, things weren't landing. But then, from halfway through the movie, I did kind of like you. I had to stop it and then pick it back up. But I was able to pay a little bit more attention the second half of the movie, and that's where I fell in love. I thought the dialogue is hilarious. The just subtle acting and body movements and facial expressions of Robin Williams and Nathan Lane is really what it's all about. You have to be watching intently on those little things, because they play these characters so flawlessly, and the way that they react in like it feels so real. So I think why I fell in love with it. And liked it so much more that second viewing, or that second half through it. And then obviously from the dinner scene on is obviously where all like the big over the top comedy and gut laugh things come in, like with the the Roman china,
The plates.
with the the plates
The
and
plates.
bowls, and trying to go get
bowls.
glasses and that whole thing. Like all the little gags kind of fall in at the end, where the first half of the movie is a lot more character building through dialogue and acting, like body acting.
Yeah.
And so I would say maybe even watch it again and watch those a little bit closer, because I think I did owe it to go watch it again and
No,
kind of watch for those things.
I
a little
love
bit
it.
more.
I think it's a good movie. Because I've had to like give myself this criteria when I look at like rating a stars, like on a 5-star system. When I do like my letterbox, I always feel like a 1 to me is bad, a 2 is no, a 1 is don't watch, a 2 is bad, a 3 is good, a 4 is great, a 5 is a masterpiece. That's like a 3.5. It's like
Okay, all right.
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Chad, can I ask off the top of your head, can you name like 2 or 3 of your 5-star movies? I'm just curious.
Are you trolling?
No, no,
Oh.
I'm really not.
Okay,
Yeah,
give me
no,
a
I want
minute.
to know which ones you think are 5s, or if you just come
Here's
up with
one.
I can
one,
give you my
that's fine, too.
5s.
Shock.
Yeah,
I have 3 of them.
Empire Strikes Back.
solid.
Heck yeah,
Pulp
solid.
Fiction.
Oh dang, good call.
Kill Bill Volume 1.
What would you rate Volume 2?
I don't know. I haven't seen that one in a while.
I'd
Maybe-
3.5 for that, I think.
Really? I don't know. They're both different movies. Like one is
Yeah,
like
that's true.
all like action, and I don't know, they're different. I really want to go back and
True.
rewatch the second one. I haven't seen that one in a long time. What kind of chips are you eating?
The first Matrix. Sorry, I'm munching on some cashews.
I'm so happy you said something, Chad. I'm like, am I hearing that right?
Okay, here. I'm sorry.
Jamie, rattle off a couple.
All right, let's see. Well, Godfather, Groundhog Day, Halloween, The Thing, Alien, Goodfellas, Fellowship
many-
of the Ring.
How many of your 5 stars are horror movies?
A lot. Get Out, Silence of the Lambs, The Shining. I got quite a few.
Let's see here. Do the Right Thing.
Oh, that's a 5 for me too. Yeah.
God, this is making me feel like a fucking idiot. Okay, here we go. God.
I'm excited that now we have the F word twice in this podcast.
We don't really usually swear that whole lot. I haven't marked as explicit, so unless there's listeners that you know that you think that we should.
Oh fuck yeah,
about
we're
that.
explicit.
I did have a buddy who was listening to our cast realize he got really quickly, oh, this isn't one I can listen to in the car with kids.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, good vibes.
The best Spider-Man movie, even though it's animated, it's still a movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Get Out. I have Rogue One.
Same.
I think Rogue One's probably like a 4, not a 5. Let's see here. Going through.
Do you have Jurassic Park in your 5 stars?
I don't think I've rated that yet. Interstellar, 5 stars.
Okay, good. That was one of my 5s.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, Chad, were you the one who sent that link for that clip of the first 5-minute prologue for?
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
I liked it, but the one thing I thought it was missing was, I thought for sure, like, it seemed like they show, like, prehistoric times, like, and then T-Rex, like you see the recognizable T-Rex face, and so I was really hoping it was going to be the situation where the other dinosaur attacked its children, or he got separated, like Land Before Time style, and then now we fast forward, a trillion years later, and it's all of a sudden T-Rex is just like, I just want to find my son. I think we're missing out on something here. And that's why he's just raging through the new world. But that's just my take.
I love that. It's but it's taking place in like the early 80s.
It seemed, well, I guess I guess with the drive-in movie, it kind of seemed that way.
Yeah, the drive-in movie,
place it
and
with the cars.
Flash Gordon and wow, what else was playing? It was like Flash Gordon and something else was on the marquee.
I don't know, the first the first couple minutes that they show, like I said, in the Land Before Time, yeah, I mean, God, we've gotten so good with this photorealism garbage. It was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was just
Can I pitch a Jurassic Park spinoff?
Yeah,
100%.
I want to see Jurassic Park post-apocalyptic in a future where the dinosaurs ran wild and overtook the Earth. Like
when
survival
dinosaurs ruled the Earth.
Yeah, but based on Jurassic, Jurassic Park is the reason. Like that whole thing, bringing dinosaurs back, caused them to overtake the Earth. Like they're solely responsible.
So kind of like a
In that universe.
Planet of the Apes type universe. Like starts off with Jurassic
Yeah,
Park
kinda, I
in
don't
our
know.
time, and then
I
all
didn't
of a
even
sudden,
thought it out too much. I just thought of it.
all right, I like it.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that, like dinosaur, because I think that was why the first one was so good. Like the scene in the kitchen, that like suspense
Oh yeah.
was just awesome. Like imagine that in post-apocalyptic where it's survival. Ooh.
Now that I mention it with Planet of the Apes, I did watch Tim Burton's version before bed the other night because it's on Amazon, I want to say. God, that one does not hold up.
Oh, really? I haven't
the
seen that
ending
one.
is rough.
The ending, like, it's more of the story kind of thing. Like, I think that the makeup with all the apes and everything is done really well, but God, I don't know. I didn't like it as much as I thought I enjoyed it when I had seen it before. Like, I'm positive I own this movie, and I don't know why anymore.
When who did was there like another trilogy of them right after that?
Yeah, they redid them
James
with
Franco
like
was
James
in the first one,
Franco
right?
and like the more photorealism apes. Like Andy Serkis would then played the Caesar ape,
Yeah, I saw the first one in that series. I really liked that one.
but
Yeah,
I
that was
forgot.
sweet.
Yeah.
I forgot this whole the Tim Burton. The one I watched was like the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. I'm like, oh my god, that's right. Tim Burton did this. Like I just completely spaced that one out.
Hey, I have two more for you, Jamie. Then I'll stop my 5-star rankings here, but you'll like this
Sweet.
one. So of course I have the thing on here for 5-star, and
Have to.
this one's for you is Friday, 5 stars.
I love that movie. Nice.
Uh, Before we go, is there anything you guys want to plug that you've been watching lately that you want to share?
Has anybody actually watched Hawkeye?
I watched the first episode. I'm about 10 minutes into the second one.
Negative.
Anybody else?
Just curious. And then I started the Wheel of Time or whatever on Amazon.
Oh yeah, how is that? I'm curious about that.
I'm enjoying it, but my brother, who had read the books, I knew it was a book series, but I didn't realize there was like 14 books.
Yeah.
He went on a rant about it because he loves this book series. I guess it's one of his favorites, and he's like, you know, when this happened, the first 2 minutes, that's book 5, and just went off. And I'm like, okay, I need to not talk about this show with you because I'm enjoying it just fine the way it is.
Yeah,
So,
that's you know,
but
I had
that's
this
every book.
I had this thought today about that. Maybe it might be a conversation for another pod, but just like how do you feel about like books or like I thought about this when I was watching like the opening scene to the Cowboy Bebop live action that's on Netflix. And I haven't seen all of Cowboy Bebop, the animated series, but I was just watching and I was like, oh, is this like just a live action kind of recreation of the anime? Or are they doing like some of their own artistic, like, you know, interpretations or changing the
Right.
story a little bit? Because what would you rather want? Would you want like read the book and see it exactly like verbatim on screen? Or would you like to see things changed a little bit to kind of like make it slightly different than what your experience was with the book?
Right. So, like, I was kind of talking about this with my brother a little bit too, and I kind of will resort it to Ready Player One. Do I enjoy that Steven Spielberg movie? 100% I do. I think it's a lot of fun. Can I take it out of context of it was based on this book? Yeah, because I think the book for right now it's its own universe with Ready Player One and Ready Player Two, where the movie I get it, it's loosely based, but I can say no that's this universe. Especially, it's easier to get out of the mind space of that with all these like we just talked about earlier with all these Spider-Mans and all these Batmans. Like it's easier for me to get out of the context of what is written and like going, I get it, it's not going to be exactly the same, but I can still have fun and enjoy this. But also I see the idea of people who are like super mega fans of, like, let's say Harry Potter, and getting really frustrated that the Philosopher's Stone wasn't totally accurate to the book. Like I understand, like, why did you need to change that? That character was a like a guy or instead of a girl or like whatever that looked like. I don't know.
Yeah, I like it when there's like little differences. I guess you got to really trust like the writers and, you know, directors of the film, but the one thing I don't like is when something goes from anime to live action and this is what they did with the with Ghost in a Shell,
It's like
where
visually the same.
it's visually the same. I haven't seen that whole movie. I just watched like the opening scene and it's like 1 to 1.
Hmm.
Like, and it's like, yeah, it looks cool. Do I want to sit through an entire movie of this? No.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too, it depends on kind of what Casey was saying earlier. What did we establish? What, 30 years between it
30
depends.
years.
Oh, the
Yeah, so
oceans.
if it's something like yeah, if it's something like that, I feel like if it's old enough, I don't mind like a paint by numbers modern redo, depending on the property or whatever. But I think I'm kind of with you, Chad. I kind of like when they take something that we all know and do it a little bit differently. Like I seeing Dune, I have no context for. I never read the book. I didn't see the '80s movie, but I kind of got like Denny Villeneuve's take on it, and that I thought it was awesome. And I'm almost glad I didn't have any context or baggage that it maybe would
Hmm.
have turned into without not reading or seeing anything before that.
Yeah, I've seen the 80s version. I mean, it's been a while, but like after seeing the new Dune, I was like, I have no idea what the what the 80s version was about. Like I had no idea about this universe. I was like, this newer version of Dune makes it seem so much cooler. But anyway, back to plugging stuff that you're watching and want to share.
The new There's a new Channel 5 video in Talladega Nights. That one was super revealing. A lot of butthole talk. Super
Is that
interesting.
okay? I knew this
That
was
was
going to come
so
up.
weird.
So is this like the new thing that
I have no idea.
young
No
men
idea.
say though? Is like show me your butthole?
I don't know.
It was all
Super
show me
weird.
your butthole. Fuck Joe Biden.
It's so funny to me that these people say that, and they're probably like the most homophobic people you'd meet.
Yeah.
Like they're saying "show me your butthole" in such a
Yep.
stupid, ironic way. So weird. Anyways, there's also a news channel I watch. Kind of, it's like comedy news called Some More News, and they did a really good episode on Thanksgiving and how bullshit it kind of is, and how racist we are to Indigenous people. So that was a really good episode and revealing. And you gotta watch shit like that sometimes. And then a funny one to bring it back up is this dude named Pat Finnerty. I think I told you guys in the chat, but I found this dude does episodes called "What Makes This Song Stink," and he did a really funny one on Weezer, which is really funny because I do like Weezer, and he's a Weezer fan. Like he grew up with Weezer, and so it's funny to hear him. The whole thing's about why Beverly Hills stinks. It's really good.
I hate that song.
Well, exactly. And even as a Weezer fan, most Weezer fans would hate that song, but it was still like popular. So I don't know, it's super funny.
That's one of my favorite. I got two things to plug. One is that SNL sketch with, I know Leslie Jones is in it, and I think it's Matt Damon, and they're just like fighting over Weezer's back catalog. It's one of those great classic random SNL sketches that was probably a throwaway, but find it on YouTube. It's too funny. Weezer fans will appreciate it. But as for what I'm watching, I think I mentioned that show On My Block. It's kind of like Freaks and Geeks in South Central LA. It's kind of the vibe. Like this group of high school kids gets into shenanigans, and I thought it was done. So it's on Netflix, and they had 3 seasons, and I found the season 3 finale to be kind of, I don't know, they didn't stick the landing, shall we say, and they kind of messed with a bunch of the characters in ways that didn't feel true to them. But I didn't know they were coming out with season 4. They might have just one of those things where they renewed it, and I'm so glad they did. So it feels like it's back, and it's really funny. I love that show, On My Block.
Cool. I think you pointed this out a couple weeks ago, though, James. So we've been watching The Sex Lives of College Girls on HBO.
Wait, so you guys did start that?
Yeah. I think we're like 4 maybe episodes in.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was thinking about starting it, but I'm like, man, did you ever just click on things and you're like, I don't know if I want this showing in my queue that I'm watching it. But with the Mindy Kaling thing, I feel like I'm like, okay, this is going to be good and not super dirty or something. I didn't know what to think of it.
Oh, you don't want anybody to think you're super dirty.
I mean, I am, but I
Bad
just don't want
boy.
it in my queue going like, what'd you watch? Because let's be honest, everybody's sharing everybody's content.
Yeah, so that's really good. Check that out. And we also hopped into the latest and final season of Insecure, getting my my female drama fix in. So, all right, I think that's everyone. So, thank you for listening to this episode of Movie Time Machine. Remember, new episodes drop on Fridays. If you want to check us out or reach out to us, you can find us on Twitter at Movie Machine Pod. No, that's wrong. Yeah, is it Movie Machine Pod? Holy shit. I'm just having a big brain fart. Yeah, it's at Movie Machine Pod on Twitter. And
Leave it in.
In our links there too. I have a link tree in our profile, and you go there, and we'll have links to, if not now, eventually to some kind of message boards and stuff. So if you have anything you want to ask us to throw in there, check that out. And if you want to send us the tips, I have a tip option in there too. Booyah! To help us pay for our podcasting services. So. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
forgot
did?
that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, wow.
It's better that it's
Sing-
natural.
Yeah. All right, how do I sound, guys?
Like a dream.
Like a
real
dream?
sexy. Real
Sing-
sexy.
All right.
Like more than a friend.
Whoa.
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 Yow.
Merry Christmas.
Yow.
You're like Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every
Mary
way.
poppin' cherries.
Oh man,
yeah.
cherry poppin' daddies.
Cherry poppin' daddies.
Oh,
Right.
good.
Zoot suit riot.
throwback.
Oh, so good.
Throw back
Riot.
another beer. Zoot suit
Good
riot.
throwback.
Riot. I remember I saw them at. Do you remember the Quest?
Oh, God,
dude,
yeah.
I saw Real Big Fish at the Quest, so it's funny that
really?
you're talking
Nice.
about them.
Yeah, it was like cherry popping daddies and what was the other one? It's like something nut zippers.
Squirrel nut zippers.
Yeah.
Yep, squirrel nut zippers.
I
Yep.
think Chris and I saw Frank Turner at the Quest. Is that in St. Paul?
No, it's Downtown Minneapolis.
No, it's gone.
Yeah, it's something else.
God, I'm trying to. Well, no, it was. I don't know. God, maybe it wasn't Quest.
Didn't they
maybe
reopen it for a bit again, and then it closed again?
I'm just trying to think. Like, I know Chris and I, like, we were at a place, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't Quest, but it was one like it was like a club place that I would always hear about a couple friends going to, and then once I got there, I'm like, God, why would they come here on Saturday nights? I feel gross being in here just seeing a Frank concert. And I'm trying to think what it was. God.
Oh, is it like the? Oh shit!
I don't really know any
Is
venues
it
in St.
the
Paul.
station?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
I'm the worst with venues. So they all like unless it's First Ave, I guess. Even if I close my eyes,
I think I
couldn't
know
tell
which
you
one
what's
you're
what.
talking about. Does it have like a weird setup too? Like there's like a fucking pillar.
I was gonna say there's pillars everywhere. Yes. Okay.
Is that the place with the bar to one side? It's like a
Mhm.
venue, and then to the left of the stage is a bar.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's
I saw Every Time I Die there. I watched the whole thing from the bar. It was awesome because it was just me and like a handful of people. Because it was an 18+ show, so there was just a handful of us in the bar. What was that? Was the station?
Yeah, I think it was the station.
That sounds
it's
right.
called.
That sounds
Yeah.
right. No, Real Big Fish is the only show I ever saw at the Quest. One and
Oh,
only.
wow.
Everybody's doing the fish. Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw
yeah,
quite a
yeah.
few shows at Quest. The Quest.
The Quest.
Yeah.
They had that big logo like in the center of the dance floor, like
Yeah.
a compass or whatever.
Yeah. I went to quite a few like house music, techno, like shindigs there.
Chad, have you ever been to a rave? I feel like you have.
Oh yeah. Yeah. the year 2000.
It wasn't just a yes.
That's
It was
all
a,
I
it was a Kool-Aid man.
Yeah,
Oh
that was like-
yeah.
every weekend through the year 2000 until
Every weekend.
until
Where?
Labor Day weekend, when I had like a bad acid trip, and then I sold all my camping stuff so somebody would give me a ride home back from Wisconsin, and then I went home to stay with my mom for a night, and I went out and I got a DWI.
Womp womp.
Oh no.
That will happen.
That was kind of put an end to my raving.
Rave days.
Oh yeah, I used to rave
Bummer.
so hard.
Because it's like, how much camping equipment did you have to sell to pay for the DWI?
Everything that I bought to go camping when I went
Yeah.
to I don't know if I think I shared this video with you guys once, where it's like this guy like tied up to a fucking tree, like had this like crazy drug twitches or whatever.
Jeez.
But
No.
yeah, that's the part.
I was gonna say that video does not sound familiar.
Oh.
Was that you on the tree?
Yeah,
No.
definitely.
No,
Definitely.
but I heard stories. I mean, I don't know, it's crazy. Like the first night, like a guy, because there was like, it was on this huge farm, and there was like the stage that wasn't being used, and there was like this basketball hoop. I don't know, some guy like jumped off the stage and like landed on his fucking head, and there was like it was like constant like ambulances out there, and yeah,
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yikes, indeed.
That was the last rave I went to.
Good. That'd have been my last rave too. Holy
Indeed
cow.
you do.
Yeah. Actually, no, that wasn't the last rave. That's the last rave I went to where I just like was doing like lots of drugs.
Just
Like,
tons.
yeah, like meth, acid,
Oh,
and eating
Jesus.
mushrooms. fucking and dropping,
That sounds terrifying.
eating pills. Yeah, it was a fucking blast.
What does ecstasy feel like?
I don't know. It's kind of
Now, correct me, is Molly the same thing except for you don't
No.
have a hangover?
no, I don't think so.
No, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's MDMA, right?
Drugs.
Yeah, MDA. Yeah, actually,
Where'd you learn
there's
that? Drug school?
Drug school.
Nah, Joe Rogan. I asked him about it.
Oh, Jesus.
Good callback.
That was great.
Wah, wah.
All right, should we get rolling?
I'm ready, born ready.
Rolling. What?
I'm drinking a beer tonight.
Oh shoot! Hold on.
And
On
I'm
a
gonna go
school
get a beer.
night?
on a school night.
Here, you do the. Oh no, you can't do the intro without me. I'll sneak away and get a beer in a minute. Don't worry.
Okay.
James, I love your name. I just noticed.
Aguilar.
Agador Spartacus?
Oh,
Agador.
so when we were gonna record last time, James and I both joined, and he was Agador, and we sat and chatted for a while we were like on Signal figuring it out, and so we just had a good chat. Me and James, is good times.
It was fun. It felt like we were trolling the podcast. Like we were like, I don't know,
Yeah.
live tweeting the podcast while you
Basically.
and I were chatting and you two were off of it.
We were doing a live reaction to the chat. We could have been Twitch streaming it back to you
Right.
guys, so you could watch us live react to the chat.
Oh God. Mount Rush. Okay, let's do. Who wants to read this? I think James. This should be you.
Hold on, I gotta pull up the doc.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. I just don't think James has done one in a while.
I'm just playing.
I think the last one I did was The Departed in an accent where I was
Oh, true.
talking at
Yep.
100 miles an hour.
But- So the same.
The same, yeah, sorry. So I'm gonna dial it back down to like 88 miles per hour.
Do these come straight from IMDb? Because it's a mouthful. That's 3 lines with no punctuation, no commas, just straight up. That's like 3 breaths worth of a phrase.
I don't know. I just look up the movie and I copy and paste the first thing I see. I don't know.
I'm sure. Well, I'm guessing that's IMDb because they're probably the top of the.
Usually, I don't know.
Search
Sometimes IMDb's is like a guy goes to school, then he gets married.
The end.
Oh,
Yeah.
Billy Madison, I love that movie. Okay, you ready?
This one should be a gay man's son gets married.
Yeah, right, 100% it should be.
Yep, that's it.
I know, like, it's funny you mentioned that, Case, because I was reading it and I'm like, man, I'm going to read this one more time before I do it out loud, because this is...
Find your
a
own
lot.
commas.
All right. This week on Movie Time Machine, a gay cabaret owner and his drag queen companion agree to put up a false straight front. I'm doing this over.
Wrong placement. Wrong.
Straight?
Don't put a comma there. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, fiance's right wing? Okay. Okay.